Welcome back aboard U80. It's 22:03 in the afternoon on March 26th, yes. And the destroyer just stopped to listen. We have to be aware of that. Keep an eye on him. And it turned out that all the tankers are on the other side of the convoy. We are currently approaching from the south. Just check out potential targets. There are also 2 troop transports. And I think standard freighters or large freighters of some sort over here. So we'll probably fall behind the convoy and try to attack at night from the north. Choose your target seems to be over there. There's also a smoke plume in the distance, but I'm not sure it's part of the convoy. I'll be back once I have new information. We're being followed closely by port escort here. I'm just going to drop down a bit to 15 meters just to make sure that no waves expose our tower. And we're that close, I don't think he can hear us. He's right. He's really right behind our stern, more or less. There's another one here. It's probably the rear escort. I think there are 4 escorts on each side. Oh, 1 on each side, 4 in total. But, I mean, I know about 3. I've visually identified a 3rd one. I'm fairly sure the faint smoke plume that we saw on the opposite side of the convoy corresponds to the 4th escort. I want to see a scary view. Corvette close by. The convoy's over here. I'm gonna stay under. We're basically on the port side of the convoy right now. I don't want to poke my head out for too long, but eventually I have to gather more information. And we have another plane back here. Yep. Let's go silent. I'm beginning to suspect that they know that something's up. They're bunching up around me here. There's another escort to our south, approaching somewhere. Back behind us. And there's one all the way over there. That looked like another escort over there. So I boarded silent running. Let's pull in our nose. I'll keep you posted.
Kontakt, Kriegsschiff entfernt sich auf 233 geringe Entfernung. Jawohl, Eckerleut. Derzeitige Tiefe 1,8 Meter.
U-80 is inching slowly towards the convoy. I did turn north to about 310 degrees because I was thinking that one of the escorts was kind of really close to our starboard side, and I wanted to change the angle a bit in case he started pinging. So let's see. I think we've fallen behind the convoy. Not by much, but a little bit. I want to see if we can poke out our periscope. There was one escort is really close. On the other side. Yeah, they should slowly pass us.
Kriegsschiff auf 229 entfernt sich.
I did prepare one torp, the number 1 tube, for high speed impact at 2 meters of depth, just in case one of them would get too close. But I hope we don't need. Yeah, he's really close. Very close. Let's see. He's over here. I think we can turn northeast and slip away behind the convoy. There was a whole bunch of escorts ganging up on us on the south side, or at least we're all sort of getting close. I don't know, that was at least my impression. So let's head north. So this is interesting. We've also company of a frigate. So it's quite busy. If I'm not mistaken, we had a destroyer in front of the convoy, which might be this guy. had a corvette in front, which might be this one, or this is an additional one. There's another corvette here, and then there is another, either a destroyer or a corvette over this way somewhere. A third corvette, and then there is a frigate that we just saw over, even another corvette. Oh, where's the frigate? Oh, this is the frigate. Okay, so four corvettes, 2 destroyers, and a frigate. That's what I count as of now. Now, I don't know if the frigate is part of the screen, or if she just happens to pass by. You definitely have to keep an eye on her as well. Yep. I'll definitely wait until nightfall before we do anything. We're about to get 0 degree AOB of the second row, counting from the south. They almost disappear in the fog. And I've also slapped down a layout of the convoy, which I'm gonna share in a moment here. Can we help just a bit? It'll be slightly more southerly than this, let's say let's go with 310, which would equate to 50 degrees to port. As the convoy's true heading. Incredibly hard to... It should be the first ship in the... now it seems more 45. And given that we are heading 314, 15, we can actually conclude that they're going exactly west. And this should be the second row Okay, so now for the layout. This is what I have established, and my symbols that I have developed. So the convoy is max 3 rows deep and 4 columns wide. And I have identified 3 different corvettes, which are represented by the marking with the angle from the front. Actually 4 corvettes, yes. 4 different corvettes, 1 destroyer in the front, and we saw a frigate here in the north somewhere, and I can't find it anymore, but I have to go from the worst case, from the worst scenario, and so I assume that she's still around somewhere. And it makes sense. I mean, there are 2 tankers. Let's see, 3 and 7 are a tanker, 2 and 6 are a troop transport, and all the others are large or modern large freighters. And yeah, I'm a bit concerned how what best to do. Right now we're somewhere over here, or maybe even further back. We got something that we have to keep in mind is those messages. Let's see if I still have them. Something like this. I've been pushed away continuously. It's crazy. I just can't get close. They always attacked me. So it seems that somehow the enemy is able to detect submarines quite easily. With this many ships around, and I mean these corvettes, they are specialized sub-destroyers, so they're specialized for anti-submarine warfare. And then we have frigate and destroyer. I mean, I would like to get it in here to be able to attack tanker and the troop transport maybe. I mean, we have 4 torps in the front. A double salvo for 1 tanker and 1 troop transport would be nice. But the question is how to get in with this many escorts. And now we're at the back of the convoy, surfacing and racing into the convoy from the rear. Doesn't seem very safe. I think we should excuse me for a second, I have to make sure there's no one sneaking up on us. Doesn't look like it. So I think the better approach is to get around, and then again try to fall into the convoy from the front. At this time for real, and into the center. So we do now have the second row, which is this one here. So that means we would surface maybe in an hour or so and overtake the convoy at top speed with a distance of, I'd say, about, well, at night I guess we can take something like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 kilometers. Let's see, if we surface at at 6, or maybe, let's say we surface in an hour. We're now going 4 knots in an hour. We'll travel 7 knots. Seven kilometers. They're heading 314. Okay, we'll surface here. And then we'll be able to travel at 13 knots in an hour. The convoy will travel 11 kilometers. I would say that they're now probably at about, I can barely see them in the distance, so they're probably at about 10 kilometers right now. Actually, let's lap this down as an estimate. That would be 442. I'll write that down on my paper that I have here. Okay. The marker 17 is 442. In an hour they will have traveled another 11 kilometers. So it'll be over here. That means we will be ...16 kilometers behind them. We'll catch up during the night or during the evening. And then the convoy is probably about a kilometer wide. Well, we have to take into account all the screens and everything. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to play it by ear, but I think we can be in front of the convoy probably at, maybe if everything goes well, maybe at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'd say, is a rough estimate. And then we can fall into it, which shouldn't take too long, which maybe takes an hour or so. So we can start the attack at 3 o'clock in the morning. That wouldn't be too bad if we can actually pull that off. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do that, and I'll be back once I'm in front of the convoy, or something else of interest happens. So we're about to reach the position right in front of the convoy. It's past 8 on the evening of the 26th. And we're about 14 kilometers ahead of the convoy, approaching from the north this time. And what we'll do is we will turn west while still surfaced in about 1 kilometer. And once we're submerged, we will, after we have finished the turn, we'll submerge, and then we'll drop down to a speed of, I guess, 2 knots or 3 knots or so. Depends. We'll do the calculation to determine, to make sure that we are in the convoy well after nightfall. So on the map, this is what it looks like. The big circle represents the position that the convoy will have in 7 minutes. It'll be around here. The second column should be, the tip of the second column should be somewhere around here. And we'll turn west here. And let's see, will be hold on, is that right? No, it isn't. Oh, excuse me. Here. The tip of the second column will be here. Which means, yeah, they'll be about 15 kilometers away. Now they have a speed of 6 kilometers per hour. Let's say we want to cover we can take our time. Let's say we want to be in the convoy at around 11. 3 hours for 15 kilometers. That means we should have we should be 3 knots slower than them. Okay, so after we've completed the turn, we'll slow down to 3 knots. That sounds reasonable. While we were overtaking them in the north, a couple of times the corvettes, or one of the corvettes, kept approaching, and to quite a distance away from the convoy, to probably more than 10 kilometers away from the estimated track of the convoy, which I think is a lot. And we had to turn. At one point we had a heading of 345, and we went at full speed to get rid of her. But we were never fired at. Crew just kept calling her out, but they didn't say anything to the effect of that we were detected or anything. So I don't know. It was a bit spooky, but I think now we're in a good. I see we're about to turn in. So I think actually I think we can stay on the surface. I mean,
jawohl, Herr Kaloy. Ein Drittel Fahrt voraus.
We could stay on the surface for a while. So now our heading is due west. Tackle like the convoy, and we should be right in front of them. Yeah, so we'll... Let's see. What speed are we at? Still 8 knots.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Kleine Fahrt voraus.
Speed is dropping to 5 and further. Not sure what is the regular speed at the low ahead. Two to 4 knots, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna stay surface for a while. We can maybe until we see the destroyer, and then we can fall below the surface. So I'll get back to you in a bit. It's 22:10 and the convoy is inside.
Schiff gesichtet.
Oh yeah, the crew also noticed. So I think it's time
Schiff
to
gesichtet.
the destroyer.
Schiff gesichtet. Lage 155. Große Entfernung.
The small ship. Let's see. This is a warship over here. That is a freighter. That looks like a corvette or something. I would say it's time to go below. Unless, I mean, how far? Kinda hard to tell. But I would say he's probably about, it's quite close. I would say it's like maybe 6,000 meters, something like that. Currently turning towards us. Just in case, also readying this guy. Yeah, the steam torp. I mean, we could take out an escort, but what's the point if there are like 6 escorts? It looks like we have Looks like this is the tanker. Yeah.
Schiff gesichtet.
It looks a little bit like we've dropped off to the south.
Schiff gesichtet.
So we have the front freighter at 155. We're a bit too far south for some reason. What's the time? It's we're 5 hours. And they're over here. So again, we're too far south.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Volle Fahrt voraus.
So we have to move up to at least somewhere over here.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Let's head this way.
315. Schiff gesichtet.
I'm trying to reposition myself in front of the convoy. It looks like we're
Schiff gesichtet.
about 5 kilometers off to the south.
Schiff gesichtet. Lage 161. Große Entfernung.
But it's a bit hard to tell. Trying to see. Very hard to tell currently. I think that those are freighters. Yeah, those are probably 2 freighters. Where did the destroyer go? It's over here. The destroyer is at 100 degrees. It doesn't seem to react, so I think we're doing okay. Okay, I'll be back once I have an update. Just a little update to end the episode. I think we're right in front of the second column from on the south side. So what we'll do now is we'll slip under and we'll slow down even further, maybe to about 2 knots or 1.5 knots until we're inside the convoy, and then we'll come up to periscope depth and or maybe even surface and torpedo the tanker and the troop transport, which are number 3 and 6, or maybe number 3 and 2, depending on when we surface. We could surface maybe here between number 7, 9, 10 and 6, and then torpedo this way, something, I don't know, I'm not sure who exactly I'm going to target and how, but that's the plan, to slip into here. But we'll see about all that in the next episode. Thanks for checking in.